Well, it's great to have Simone, a neuro coach, and that combines scientific insight with practical strategies to help individuals improve performance, decision making, and resilience into the living reflections room. And I want to specifically talk about with her is a forum on leading wellness that she has put together with Allyson Brown, who is a nutritionist. Yeah, I'm putting that together for the first time in Geelong, and we want to talk about some of the why. Why are we doing this forum? I think it's exciting.
Thanks so much, Mel. So the reason why we're actually putting it on is that we've seen a gap in the market, particularly in women's wellness. So coming into the workplaces, we hear a lot of the commentary around wellness, and that's been a really, I guess, a new commentary coming through the workplaces over the last 5 or so years around focusing on, particularly since COVID, wellness. But as much as we can hear that commentary coming through the workplaces, there's not really an answer to it. And so this forum specifically is to fill that gap. Now we know that, and I'm just going to quote a few numbers here, that 50% of women say that their stress levels were higher than a year ago. And 40% of women experience high levels of pain at work and they work through it.
Mm,
And then if you look at more of the bigger health numbers, like 60% of adults are living with obesity, and at least 61% of women are living with at least one long-term health condition. And so for me, those numbers they just blow me away. And so Alice and I got together and said, well, what's something we can do to help with that? And we see this one day as a little mini intervention and the start of working and professional women and business owner women and entrepreneur women to take a moment out to focus on their own wellness, and in focusing on their own wellness, start to put a bit of an action plan in place so that their health and their has that longevity in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and
mm,
70s.
mm. Yes, I think a lot of the stress that is in today's society is causing those autoimmune diseases and other long-term conditions. I'd be interested to know how
Yeah.
many are actually got two or three, because I know many of my friends who have mental health issues. I have had mental health from being in the military, and then went into physical health conditions, and I've now got two autoimmune diseases from that. In my in that was in my 40s, so it's yeah, interesting how much stress is women actually holding and what is that leading towards. And if you can do some proactive work in that,
Yes.
that's fantastic.
Yep. And that's exactly why we're bringing this forum to the party. And Alison, the co-founder of Leading Wellness, she has had an autoimmune immune condition, multiple sclerosis, since the age of 23, 24, and how she has managed those symptoms for the last 20 or so years, to the point where she's now able to speak on stage about her journey and some of the various diets that she has tried, but also the other wellness practices she has tried to get her to where she is today.
Wonderful. And you've got some other great speakers that are coming. Like there was a lawyer, I think, and someone talking on AI. And
Yes, yeah. So we plan to have two panel discussions. And the first panel is going to be around stress and burnout and how to manage those symptoms. But not only that, how to rearrange your life to lead to less stress and burnout. And each one of the speakers there has their own story around stress and burnout, as well as a little bit of the from the lawyer perspective, like what are your rights as well from that perspective. We also have a second panel which is focused around menopause and the symptoms of menopause. And whilst we hear it's becoming a ongoing focus out in the media around menopause, a little bit around what the symptoms are. There's been very little discussion on how you can best navigate and manage the symptoms of menopause. So we've got a panel of experts together around how to manage the symptoms of menopause through different methods, and also how to manage the symptoms of menopause in the workplace. Because we find that a lot of females, for so many reasons, as much like that ceiling that we all have heard about from the media outlets around having children, and the ceiling that happens when that happens when females go off and have children. There is a fair bit of research and evidence around the ceiling that happens when you're in menopause, and how many women start to take time off work or not go for that next role because they're in the full symptoms of menopause.
Yeah, I find like I'm in my perimenopausal state at the moment, sort of like in my year leading up to on the wait of that 12 months. And every time I talk about it with my GP, like when I'd get a period that would happen on a day and something, he would like very much, oh, you have to get to a year. And he won't say anything about the hot flushes I'm getting and the lack of sleep I'm having. And it's like, no one wants to discuss like how does a woman supposed to live through that, and what are you supposed to do? And I don't want to go on hormone replacement therapy. Don't want any more medications. Yeah, so I think it's a great thing. That panel would be absolutely amazing. Um, what's the thing that you're most looking forward to in this day in September?
So I'm most looking forward to the room, meeting and greeting and holding the space in the room and really creating something special, because what happens in the room, I believe, will be a turning point in people's lives. So that in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now, they'll go, remember that day that we attended and we heard this, or we heard, this little snippet from that particular speaker, and that just changed everything for me to put in whatever practice that it is that they've chosen to help them manage their menopause symptoms or perimenopause symptoms or their chronic pain symptoms or their chronic illness symptoms, or to get them into a healthier state in whatever way. So for me, it's really about holding the room, holding that beautiful space where we actually get to have a real life wellness discussion, and then moving forward in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, people going, wow, that was the point in my life whereby I realized I couldn't go on like this, and I made a change.
Yes, that's beautiful. I think, yeah, if we can inspire more women in the world, inspire those who come, transform some of their lives and some of their difficulties and stress. Yeah, you've made a beautiful day and something that you can repeat. Is it something that you would like to do every a year
Yes,
or every 2 years?
yes. So we will look. This is really the first time we're doing it. So we're looking at being able to repeat this model moving forward and eventually go on a nationwide tour to have that discussion around women's wellness and help to be the answer to some of that commentary that we and the gaps that we see in the workplaces around wellness.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I think you have a great model to be able to share and to continue. I hope it goes well. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Oh, I'd love to say that if this conversation has interested you, tickets are on sale right now. So please book yourself a spot. The website is leadingwellness.com.au. We have general admission as well as VIP tickets. The VIP tickets have all sorts of goodies, but you will have a day that you won't have experienced before. Some of the experiences we've also got coming into it is breath work and sound healing baths. We've got a personal trainer coming in to do a little 5 to 10 minute movement series as well that you can repeat on a daily, weekly basis as well. So there's just so much goodness packed into the day, all focused around wellness. And if you've been putting aside your wellness because you've been pretty much grinding yourself into the stone or into oblivion through looking after your children, looking after the carers, looking after the house, going to work, looking after the work, take just one day out for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So it's the 3rd of September in Geelong, health empowerment for professional women over 35.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for that, Mel.